Good? Good over WWL? All good? Okay. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out again. Give you a little update on the operation that's going on. As we said this morning, the berm was built. We're reinforcing that berm as we go, as expected. Pumps have been turned on around 12:15, and just under 4 hours now, we've pumped out 48 inches of water, a little over 48 inches of water. Should be seeing some pretty good success once the, start getting into the middle where the banks will come in, and it should be going a little bit faster. But we're still taking it very slow. Using only one pump as of right now, although we have other pumps here necessary if that's the case. We just want to make sure our berm is holding properly. We're able to get the water level below 2 culverts that we have checked with not only divers and ROVs in the past, but now because they're dry, we were able to send a person into both of those culverts, which are clear. So we're going to continue to check as we go along, and the water level continues to drop. But I would say we're probably ahead of schedule right now. I'm very happy with the progress of what is happening. So, hopefully with a little bit of luck, we'll have a success that we're asking for, and keep things going the way it is. With any of these operations, obviously the danger's here, but so far so good. Y'all take any questions?
Sheriff, how confident are you that it'll be drained by the end of the day, possibly?
Well, drainage, look, there's holes in this area that may be 20 foot deep, right? So, I think we're going to continue to get drainage of where we can search and keep going, and then we'll have to see how many holes exist of what else we have to go check, whether we check that physically with a diver, just with a person, those things will come forward. But it's moving in the right direction and moving a little bit quicker than I expected. Once that berm, all the weight is put on the opposite side where we're at 100% capacity, we can really start pumping a little bit faster, and hopefully that will speed up the process. But right now, slow and steady, and it seems to be working.
What is the mood like back there as all of this is happening?
I think we're all proud of the ability that we were able to kind of get this done, but look, I'm still crossing my fingers. It's not done yet. So, look, we can have, a great success with a recovery. We may not get a recovery, and we can have an ultimate failure. We articulated a plan that we thought was viable, and so far it's gone the way we've expected, and we hope it continues to go. So I think the mood is very good, but until we get to the result that we're able to achieve it, we'll stay optimistic, but still make sure we're trying to stay safe.
Sheriff, there are a lot of family members out here who roll up their sleeves, getting hands dirty, right alongside y'all helping. Are they keeping the mother in touch with what's going on, or are you?
I'm assuming they are, to be honest with you, Meg. I mean, look, my job is to deal with the operations that's here and the recovery operation. Look, I'm sure she's talking to people, and I would hope she was, but that's a situation for family, and I'll let them answer that if they choose to.
Are you still trucking in more mud? It seems like?
We are. Although the berm's built, we want to make sure we have enough on site in case we need to patch any leaks that come through and continue to reinforce it. So not a lot, but we requested a few more loads just to have it back there in case something comes up through the afternoon, through the night. You can't get it at 2 o'clock in the morning if you don't have it on site now. So just kind of being prepared to make sure it's here, and hopefully it stays piled up and we don't need it. But we're going to have a few more loads on for standby.
And Sheriff, is the plan to continue to work through the night as long as
Yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, as it's going, we're going to keep the pumps running. We may have a smaller contingent, but I want to keep the pumps running. I want to keep people out here, so I'm not planning on going home. We'll stay through the night if that's the case, and I know my men and women are planning on doing the same.
And just last question here for me. So the dam itself is complete. It's just the pumping process that's.
The pumping process, but I'll say it's complete. I mean, it's complete, but we're going to continue to reinforce it as the water goes down. Remember, the pressure continues to build on the backside as you're taking pressure away from the front side, and that's what happens. So, although it's complete and it's above the water level and not leaking from that standpoint, you have to continue to monitor that and make sure you pack it down properly to stop any leaks. A small leak becomes a stream stream becomes a river, and so we'll try to stay on top of that, pretend like we know what we're doing, and go forward. I mean, I think the fact of it is this is not a Corps of Engineer plan that's going to be take months and months and months to do. You know, we think we have a good plan in place. We think it's going to work, but you know that we've got to monitor it closely. This is a temporary dam, not a permanent one.
Sheriff,
So.
you had said that safety is your main concern for your divers, your men who are out there in the water. Wildlife and Fisheries is here. Have they encountered any of the alligators that your men have been encountering?
Not yet. I mean, they're out there. I mean, I see them all the time. You know, we haven't seen anything very large. Maybe about 4 foot is the largest in this enclosed structure, right? I mean, there's obviously larger ones out here in the area. Nothing that concerns us yet. You know, we'll keep an eye on them, but I'm not overly worried about the wildlife. We just want to have somebody here on staff in case one becomes a problem. But they're normally more afraid of us than we are, you know, of them. So.
But they're getting out on their own? Or
You know, most of them is going to be natural movement. If we need to relocate, we'll relocate them, and you know, it'll still be done here naturally. But we'll deal with that as it happens.
As more water is being pumped out, are y'all seeing any signs of the child? Maybe any like
You're not going to see that. I mean, that's not something that would be normal. You know, I mean, look, if we saw that, we'd be stopping the pumping process, making the recovery, and then opening it back up again. So, you know, you'll know when we know.
And so, Sheriff, it's sort of a process of you're pumping, and then if you maybe want to check a spot, you bring stop the pumping, bring the divers in, or.
I think we're going to keep pumping. You know, I mean, the issue is as just like the culverts, as the water level got below the culverts, we check that. As the water level is going to get below other places, we're going to check that, and we're going to. So we'll do what we can by visual sight, but there's places that we can get to. We're going to keep working as we go. I mean, it's not something that we're not going to pump out 20 feet of water if we can start checking places that we're at 8.
Yeah.
So
You don't stop the pumping when you're checking those.
no, keep it going.
Sheriff, can you explain why one of the pumps was shut down earlier?
We're going to slow down the process. You know, truthfully, the one pump at really an idle is going faster than we expected it to go. So as long as we can continue to pump the level that we're wanting to do it with one pump, we don't want 2 in there. We're going to have to make some readjustments to pumps to get it into deeper water already. But I mean, we'll utilize it when we need to, but you just don't want to take that water away too quickly to jeopardize the dam.
Sounds like an extraordinary operation. Regardless of the outcome, is it going to be worth it?
You know, I think so. Look, if it's kind of like me and you. I mean, if this was anybody's child, 4-year-old child in the water, you would think we would do the same, and I think we would. And you know, I can't necessarily say that the situation allows at every location. This is one that the location was specific enough where we could put a plan together that we thought would work well. And you know, look, if the recovery is made, then the answer is yes, is absolutely was worth it. You know, people can criticize that all day long. Hey, I make decisions, and I'll live with them. So.
How helpful is it to have had the BNS volunteer to do this?
Well, it gave us the option to do so. You know, I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you know, him coming in gave us the option to do something like this, and you know, we thought it out. We put some plan behind it, and U.S. Park Service agreed and said, let's do it. So, you know, look, without him, none of this would be done. You know, so I really appreciate the offer from them. But look, we've had a lot of volunteers to make sure we could keep running. Whether it's people bringing food out here, which we don't need any more food, y'all. We're taken care of. You know, I'll tell the volunteers we have food. Everybody is well fed out here. They're taken care of. Make sure the breaks are there. But you know, the volunteers today to get rid of the duckweed. You know, y'all don't know how big of an operation that was. But you know, having a 6 inches a foot of duckweed on the bottom of this ground and having to sift through that is a tremendous operation. To be able to sift that off on the water's edge and now be looking at a ground surface as it's draining is a big deal for us. So, you know, those operations have been phenomenal that we've been able to put people together and make something happen.
Since the last update, or since the child first fell in, is there any new details about the circumstances leading up to how that happened?
I don't have, you know, I don't have anything that's inconsistent with you know, the story that has been told to begin with. As I said before, look, I'm a fact checker and a fact finder. You know, I know there's mystery theories out there that, you know, don't necessarily have evidence attached. I'm not here to defend any of them. You know, we'll take statements from anybody that thinks good, bad, or indifferent. I've been pretty clear with y'all and everybody else. I don't have any evidence other than this child is in the water, and that's not only from the mother, it's from the 3-year-old that was also here. You know, that's the evidence that I have in front of me. I'm not going to criticize anybody other than that. You know, look, everybody makes mistakes in life. The fact of it is this is the evidence that shows me, and I'm not going to go back in time to say, okay, has to happen. If the circumstances change, obviously we're going to go down a different path. But right now, those circumstances have not changed.
If this effort doesn't result in a recovery, what's next?
I don't know if there's anything next. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, we'll be out here, you know, looking for a natural recovery if that's the case. You know, this wasn't on the table until Saturday night. If something else comes on the table, we'll evaluate it properly. You know, and I think that's a fair statement of what it is, but certainly, you know, as big of an operation as this is, I don't know if I have a plan for what's next. There's only so much we can do as humans to try to make that happen, and you know, I think we've gone above and beyond to try to make that happen in this case. You know, I wish I had an answer, but you know, look, we'll see what happens. All right, y'all. Thank you very much.